Hey guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video. In this video, we're going through the Brisbane versus Gold Coast game in which, well, I guess for non-owners, it was absolute hell. Because Zorko just ran absolute riot. 40 touches for him, 16 marks and 5 tackles. 0 goals, 3. And if he kicked those 3 goals, he ends up on a 199 fantasy score. And he also ends up on probably roughly the same Supercoach score. And it was just absolutely crazy, the numbers that he put up in the end. And I mean, Gold Coast, even though Gold Coast had a 4-man advantage on the bench in the last quarter, still couldn't claw it back. I don't know what happened in that in the game that meant that they couldn't claw it back. It just makes no sense to me. I didn't watch this game, but I was tracking along with the stats, and I was just looking at it like, I'll know that Zorko's going crazy, and him and I think Neil were at halftime tons, I believe. I'll double check that when we get into the video, but yeah, they were going off crazy, and yeah, they were both I think they were both maybe on about 120 Supercoach at halftime. It's crazy just looking at the scores. But anyway, before we jump into this video, remember to like and subscribe, turn the notification bell on so you know when I upload, and let's get into this recap. So first of all, you have Dane Zorko here, 184. Yes, 184. A 70-point quarter in the second, where he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 marks he had in that quarter. 8 marks. Are you joking? He had 8 marks. He had also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 16 touches and 8 marks. That is a ridiculous quarter, and of course he went... I think did he even have any handballs in that quarter? Yeah, I'm just going to look this up because it was just a crazy quarter in general. And yeah, Zorko in that role is an absolute powerhouse and really sucks because, yeah, he went absolutely huge and has that role and will be a top 6 forward with that role. We all knew that if he had that role, he'd be a top 6. We just thought that he'd lost that role, and it'll be interesting now because look at all these injuries. McCarthy, Ainsworth, Starcevich, Gardner. What do they do? Do they bring him... Do they put him up forward? Do they keep him down back? I don't know what they're going to do. And it depends on team sheets, to be honest with you. But... Am I going to wait a week for him? Round 12, potentially pick him up during the buys. I really need him in Supercoach, but I just cannot fathom to bring him in at the moment. But maybe there is a spot for him in that forward line and getting rid of someone else. So I'll look at it, and there is potential to bring him in, but I'll have to have a look at it. But yeah, that was just an absolute crazy game, and yeah, let me just bring up his quarter 2 stats here. Let's just bring him up here. 16 kicks, 8 marks, 1 behind for, it says 74 fantasy points, but had that tackle taken away. Maybe it was actually 74 and this tackle here got taken away, so his first quarter stats was only 28. Yes, so it was a 74-point quarter. 74 points. That has got to be the highest that I've ever seen someone score. And I've spent 3 minutes on Zorko alone. Josh Dunkley, 42-30. Yeah, his stats aren't that impressive, even though he went 151. He only went... he just went consistently 30-plus in a quarter, and that's sort of what you get. You get, if you go 30-plus in each quarter, you're going to get 120, and he just went huge in the the first and third. And he sort of got under the radar with a 151. Lachie Neale, a 137, a 46, and then a 59-point quarter. He was crazy as well. His halftime stats were ridiculous in themselves. He had 10 touches, 2 and 2 in the first, and then 14, 5 and 4, in the second. So yeah, he just did his job. It was just ridiculous seeing these scores. So yeah, they were crazy. And then Jared Berry as well. He was on 79 at half. So yeah, he did his job in the second quarter as well for Jared Berry. He had a 11 disposal, 6 mark, 2 tackle quarter for a 54. Yeah, just crazy yet again. McCluggage as well. I think he was on a high number. No, he was on only 58, and then he just replicated that with a 64 in the second half. So he got to a 1-2-2. Then you have Danaher on a 98. Who would have thought a key forward could do that? Yeah, he did his job. I think he ended up with quite a fair few marks, as you see here. 9 marks. You see that they took, I think, what was it, 140 marks in the end, and that was just because they had so many injuries here. 1, 2, 3 guys didn't even play over 30%, I believe. Logan Morris had to play to the VFL and then play the seniors game. So he ended up playing running half a marathon in that game over that week. That day, I believe, was it back in the same day. So I believe. So yeah, that was a crazy endurance from him, and he even put up 1 goal, 3 in it. So fair play to him to put that up. And yeah, just looking at everything here, it just looks absolutely. It looks crazy to see that they had, what's this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys go above 80 points. And if we look at the Supercoach, just to show you even more how crazy this split was, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 guys go above 80 in Supercoach. And the Gold Coast Suns had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys. So they had 6 more guys go above 80. That is crazy. And it just showed the utter dominance. You look at the fantasy scoring, 1785 to 1250. And you look at this and see 3 guys here. Obviously, Starcevic was ruled out early, and that meant that Morris had to become the sub and someone else came into the lineup, I believe. I'm led to believe maybe Revel was supposed to be the sub or something like that. I'm pretty sure Starcevic pulled out about 5 minutes before the game. And you can just see here that McCarthy did nothing. And it says that he played 0 minutes. He didn't play 0 minutes, I don't think. I think that's even stuffing up. I don't think he played 0 minutes, but he played a very few amount of minutes. Let me just see if they how long it says that he played in general. It says he played 6 minutes 29. Then you have Ainsworth, and then you have Starcevic here saying that he played the whole game, even though I don't think he stepped foot on the game. No, he didn't play. And then you have, I think Ainsworth was 19 minutes. Let's just check. 18:57, so yeah, 19 minutes. And then you have Gardner, 36 minutes. That's probably roughly right as well. And he kicked 2 goals to get to that 22 as well. 36-24. So yeah, these guys all played very limited minutes, and then they were like, well, we're down to nothing on the bench basically now. So I just think that this performance from Brisbane was absolutely crazy. I don't think it's replicable at all that they will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys go above 120. Sometimes we don't even have games where one guy goes above 120. I know that in the recap this week that we had a couple of titles where guys didn't go above 120, a couple of 113s, I think. So yeah, and I think even one of the games had a 90 in the thumbnail. So for these guys to have a 131 miss out on the thumbnail is quite crazy. So yeah, I'm just shocked at this game, to be honest with you. Wilmot 97, but you can just see where that score comes from. It's just all uncontested marks at the sort of base of it, and that's why Zorko did well. Dunkley popped up for a lot of marks as well, but he also filled up the tackles. Lockie Neal marks as well, but tackles. Jared Berry, the marks and tackles. Hugh McCluggage just got sort of the possessions. 24 kicks does help. But 7 marks, that's still 21 points. That's still sort of a sixth of his score. And 4 tackles as well as sort of around that, an eighth of his score. So a good, 21 plus 16, so 37. So a good third of his score came from his non-disposal work. Danaher, 9 marks and 2 tackles, that's 27, that's 35, so that's around about 37% of his score, 36% of his score from non-disposal work. Darcy Wilmot, 7 and 3, McKenna, 9 marks, Harry Sharp, 7 and 4, Harris Andrews, 12 marks, Lohman, 6 and 6, so that's a good 42 points out of his 82, so that's around 50% of his points through non-disposals. Lester, 9 and 2, Oscar McInerney only 2 and 2, but had the massive amount of hitouts, 37. You can see the hitouts here, huge amount. Fletcher, 6 and 2, Rayner, 5 and 2, Hipwood, 7 and 1, 4 and 2, 5 and 1. So Morris was the only guy outside of McInerney to have less than 4 marks. The other guys all had 4 marks, and then it would usually be Other than Bruce Revel, it was 4 and some type of tackle amount to get up there as well. So that's how they were just getting a heap of... We always talk about 8 marks and tackles. These guys were having around about that every single player on the park. Then we move over to Gold Coast. We'll make this quick because it's been a long time already. But Sam Flanders, 35 and 4, pretty good. And just checking his... I think he's tracked well throughout the game from memory. If it will switch over here. 26-40, a little bit slow in the third with only 12. Gave away a free kick as well. That didn't help. Yeah, just looking at that. So that doesn't help, obviously. And then 26 in the last as well. What a free kick in here as well. A free kick in here as well. So gave away a couple of free kicks. 4 free kicks, 4-3 against. Anderson, 98-92 splits. Fiorini, 82-87. I just don't know why Gold Coast players are so low. I know that it was an uncontested brand of footy from Brisbane. It was like 140 marks to 60. But I'm just surprised that Gold Coast didn't try and just sort of run them over, and I'm surprised that their scoring is so low with these guys. Like you have Rowell down here at 51 and 65 splits. I'm just shocked about that. But yeah, is there much we can take out of this game? To be honest with you, do I think that Brisbane is going to do this again? No. Do I think that Gold Coast is going to do this again? No. So in the end, yes, it is probably weak analysis to say that, but I think the Gold Coast they just didn't have the footy. It's as simple as that. I don't think they had the footy enough. If we look at the key numbers here, here we go. The kicks, you can just see here 360 possessions to 300. So it's just really low possession numbers. Then you have marks here, 148 to 60. The tackles, 60 to 63 hit-outs. So it's just the possession numbers here. You can see here. What's that? 377 to 304. So they're down to 73 in disposals. That's where the big number is going to be. That's 73 disposals is at least 140 points. And the marks there is another 240. So that's at least another sort of 300 odd points. And a lot of those were actually kicks that they were down by. So yeah, you can see that there. That's a roughly 300, 240 plus the marks, 240. That's roughly 500 points. And that's where the gap is being held between them. But that basically is the video there, a sort of outline of this. I don't think there's too much. Yes, you can look at this game in depth, but I don't think it has too much reference points, as I think that there were a lot of outlier events in that Brisbane just had injury after injury after injury, so they almost had to go to an uncontested brand of footy. They were down to, I think, 2 on the bench after using their sub, and still down to 2 on the bench after about halfway through the second. So after that, I think they just went, we need to save our legs here. So we are just going to play an uncontested brand of footy. And I think that's what happened, honestly. So yes, they scored really well. Is this going to happen again? I don't think so. So do you take much out of this game? I don't think so. I think that's the reason why a lot of the inside mids for Gold Coast didn't score well, because there wasn't a lot of inside ball. It was all outside ball. So yeah, looking at that game, I'm not taking too much out of it. Yes, it sucks that we didn't get the Zorko huge game. And I didn't get any of these guys, any of the Brisbane guys. So, but I mean, my fantasy season has sucked in general. But yeah, am I looking at anything from this? No, I'm not looking at it. I'd just be wary also of the switching off of these Gold Coast mids, because they play in Darwin the next couple of weeks. Guys like Rowell and Graham are going to do really well up in the wet there. So I'd be looking at them even still. And not trying to trade out those guys just yet, because they're going to have really good games. It's tracked really well up in the wet in Darwin, that they do really well, just because the tackle numbers are up really extremely high up there. So that's the video, and I guess I'll see you guys for the AFL Fantasy Round 8 recap, team review, whatever you want to call it at this point. It's just sort of going through and looking at how poorly my trades are and how they don't seem to work each week. But anyway, that's the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.